If you have a brick and mortar business and you don't have a website yet, or if you have an outdated website that you would like to bring into the 21st century, then this Thrive Themes chat is for you. Today, Tony and I are going to be talking about the steps you need to take to create a website for your brick and mortar business so that you can reach a wider audience, enhance your business credibility, and engage with your customers. Let's dive right in. All right, so in today's episode, we are going to be talking about brick and mortar businesses and how you can build a website for your brick and mortar business. And we're doing this topic because this was suggested by someone in the comments of one of our other podcast episodes. So I don't remember exactly who you are out there, but thank you so much for suggesting it. If you have other suggestions for topics that you want us to cover in future episodes, be sure to leave that down in the comments. So first of all, let's talk about what a brick and mortar business is. So a brick and mortar business is any just regular business that you would see driving down the street that has an actual physical presence. So it might be a restaurant, it might be a gym, it might be a bakery, perhaps maybe even a plumber, or any one of those types of businesses.
Correct. So we're talking restaurants, we're talking gyms, we're talking coffee shops, just any physical location that you can go to and purchase a product or service from someone. And this is a great topic because I feel like there's this big misconception, Christine, about people tying Thrive Suite only to be used to sell info products or to build online courses. And that's like a very massive misconception. You can use Thrive Suite to build an online presence for a traditional brick and mortar business. And this is a perfect moment for me to throw in a small story time. One of the first clients that I ever had, while I was doing client work and I was using Thrive Suite to build online infrastructure for other companies, was a restaurant in Central Florida. It was actually the same restaurant that I used to work at back in my university days. I used to be a server back then, and so it was an easy client for me to close on. And so they had a problem, and I actually realized this while I was working there, which is that they didn't have a website, and so there was no easy way for them to showcase operating hours. There was no easy way for them to showcase something like the menu, and they couldn't showcase, for example, their happy hour times. So no way for them to show off what their promotions were or anything like that. So it was very easy for me to just grab the website of a different restaurant that was doing a really good job and tell them, hey, don't you want to be able to do something like this? You're not going to sell anything online, but it's still a very good way of indirectly getting customers, right? Because you're expanding your reach by actually having an online presence. And so I did just that. I built out a website using, it wasn't Thrive Suite back then. It was just Thrive. I think it was still Thrive Content Builder. And I did somewhat of a good job. It was probably one of my first clients back then. And it was good. Like I said, I set up their operating hours online. I did use Thrive Lightboxes, for example, to have call to actions on the website, open up the menu. So I would stick images of their actual menu inside a Thrive Lightbox, and on the front end of the website, you would see a button that says view the menu, and then people would click on it and the menu would show up, and it was just such a beautiful experience. My customers were happy. And so that's just a small way of showcasing how Thrive Suite can easily take a brick and mortar business and expand its reach by actually having an online presence.
Now I have a question for you, Tony. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Well,
no, yeah, go ahead.
So let's say there are agencies out there who want to get these brick and mortar clients. For you as a server, how did you broach the subject with the owner of the business and get him to agree to you doing the website for him or her?
Like I said, I used to work at that restaurant when I was in college, and so I knew the owners, and I got along with them pretty well, and it was an easy sell for me to tell them, hey, I know how to do this. I can't remember the name of the website that I showed them back then. But I literally just straight up showed them a website of a restaurant that was doing a really good job of having an online presence. And I told them, hey, moving forward, you're going to need a website. I can build it for you. And so it was a very easy sell.
Nice.
Yeah, it was just what you would consider word of mouth today, right? But I covered a few ways of indirectly increasing the reach of a brick and mortar business, but there's actually a way of literally directly increasing revenues of brick and mortar businesses as well by using Thrive Suite and having and building yourself an online presence, which is by, well, if we stick to the restaurant example, you can take reservations, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's a really good way of directly locking in the fact that a customer is going to come in on a certain day at a certain time. You can obviously also do online ordering. I mean, I think that this is not my area of expertise. I'm not sure if it's worth it that much, given that Uber Eats and all these other delivery companies exist, if it makes sense or not anymore to be able to offer online ordering directly from the brick and mortar restaurant itself. But that is still a possibility. If you don't want to work with Uber Eats, or if you don't want to rely on a third-party business to be able to handle or take care of that, you can still do that. You can still set up like an online ordering service and deliver food for people. And of course, this is probably the easiest thing for us to do with a brick and mortar business, which is to actually start collecting emails. If you have neighbors around your brick and mortar business, they probably have an email. You can probably collect their email. And if you know you're going to have a slow day on July 21st, send them an email and let them know that you're going to have a 20% discount on your entire menu. And that's a really easy way of indirectly and directly attracting new customers, or getting some of your previous customers to come back to your restaurant.
I totally agree with that. I have to admit, I love ordering food like online and having it delivered. I get Portos quite a lot, so I will order that. And the reason why I do it though is because they keep sending me emails reminding me that I should order Portos. So, multiple times. I probably order from Portos maybe once every 2 months. And I just keep I order 6 big boxes at a time, and I just keep them in my freezer and pull stuff out as I want to eat it. But going back to DoorDash, Grubhub, you can actually, you can still participate in those services in addition to having your own online ordering. I've seen restaurants do that. So, that's really easy to do with Thrive Architect.
Ordering Portos every 2 months is not bad at all. I mean, I know people that order every week, so that's not bad at all. I mean, Uber Eats is really a tempting thing that people just can't run away from. Let's talk about a few other examples of traditional brick and mortar businesses, Christine, that could potentially benefit from having an online presence. Do you have any in mind? I have a few.
Yeah, so one of my friends runs a yogurt shop, and I have to admit that I did her website for her many, many years ago. But she actually uses Shopify to run her online shop, and I had set that up for her. But what you can do is, anything that you can do with Shopify, you can do with WordPress and WooCommerce. So, yeah, it's actually not that difficult to do. We do have a tutorial on how to do that, which we will link for you. But I mean, I think people think of brick and mortar businesses as you can only really buy things at the store. But I would encourage brick and mortar businesses to start thinking about selling things online so that they can reach more, a bigger audience. And, for the example of the yogurt shop, it sounds like that's not something that can be shipped across the country, but what she does is she ships everything in big styrofoam boxes with dry ice. She charges an extra maybe $10 or $15 to cover those costs, and it works out. She's been very, very successful ever since she opened her online store. She's been able to open 2 more locations So, I mean, I think it's been a success for her, certainly.
Good Lord. That's definitely like a brick and mortar business that you wouldn't expect to be able to do or handle online sales. And here we are. She is. That's amazing. That's actually quite interesting.
Yeah, pretty cool. What about
It
you?
just it goes off to show how there isn't a traditional brick and mortar business out there that can't benefit from having an online presence.
Totally.
So let's talk about, for example, gyms in fitness centers. And I can even throw in a little bit of a personal touch in here as well. So my girlfriend, for example, she runs a fitness center. And one thing that she was, and it's not a big gym, like she manages the whole thing by herself. And so it was kind of a real pain for her to have to be chasing customers around at the end of every month to have them pay up. And well, we figured out a way of actually making it super easy, which is build up a website and set up a product that people can just go on your website and buy for. So in our case, we set up a product using ThriveCart that would charge a recurring income fee every month. And that totally eliminated the problem that she was having, right? I mean, she didn't have to chase people around anymore because every month, ThriveCart would charge people's credit cards over and over again. And other than that, she was able to actually showcase images of the fitness center. She was able to put up some videos about some of the trainings that she does. She was able to put up the hours of each class that she teaches, which is something pretty big. And I feel like one of the questions that people are going to ask in the comment section is there any way using Thrive Suite that I can actually have people book a class and have that class get filled up once 10 people have signed up for it? So yes, there is a way. I mean, using Thrive Suite and additional tools. And we actually have a video coming soon using one tool in particular that's about to integrate with Thrive Automator that tackles that same exact problem. And it's probably, believe it or not, Christina, it's actually something that I'm probably going to be implementing with my girlfriend because this is something that we've been trying to do for a while. And this tool that's about to integrate with Thrive Automator, I'm going to keep it a surprise, but it's coming out very soon, is able to take care of that thing exactly as we want it to. So gyms and fitness centers are definitely traditional brick and mortar businesses that can definitely benefit from having an online presence. So there is one more example that I think I can talk about of a traditional brick and mortar business that people probably wouldn't expect to be able to handle or use Thrive Suite or an online infrastructure for anything, which is bakery shops. Now, this works pretty well, particularly in big cities. Like I'm thinking New York, I'm thinking San Francisco, maybe. Like think about a bakery shop in the middle of the street. And you have a lot of people walking by the bakery shop. One of the best marketing, and I talk from experience because I have a bakery shop right underneath my house, and every time I go down and throw out the trash, it smells so good. All of those baked goodies just smell so good. It just makes me want to go inside the bakery shop and just take everything with me. And that's probably one of the biggest things that bakery shops rely on. It's just the smell and people walking by the shop itself. But they can make use of Thrive Suite and having an online presence as well. I have a feeling that a lot of people spend a lot of time at bakery shops asking the people making the baked goods whether they have flour or whether they're vegan or whether they're, what are the ingredients inside each little item. Being able to have a website where you can literally showcase everything that you bake, the ingredients that they're made up of, and just about anything about them is amazing. That's going to save you so much time when people come in. It's going to save you so much money too. I mean, time at a brick and mortar business, time is literally money. If you can spend less time on each customer, you're probably going to be making more money as well. So that's a really easy and direct way of actually increasing revenues. And you can take online orders as well if you're running a bakery shop and you have, I know of people that have gone to bakery shops and gotten like wedding cakes made for them, or special orders. If you're going to be buying something big for a birthday party or something, you can have that whole system laid out on your website. Like have a form, how many people or how many empanadas do you need for your nephew's birthday, Don? And you can just have people pay immediately on your website. So that's pretty nice. You can obviously also showcase products, like you can have images and pictures of your baked goods. And most importantly, gather emails. It just doesn't hurt to build up an email list, even if you're running a brick and mortar business, even if you're not selling anything online. Say, for example, that you don't actually sell any of your baked goods online and that you're not going to take any special orders. People can just come into your bakery and buy there, whatever it is that you're selling. You can still take emails. And if you know, again, that you're going to have a really slow February because people don't buy as many baked goods in February for whatever reason, although it's Valentine's Day, so that's probably not the best month. You can still gather emails and send people promotional offers via email on days where you know you're not going to be making as much money, and that may incentivize people to come in and actually buy baked goods from you. And people always want donuts, so there's always a chance to convince people to come into your bakery shop. And there's like a gazillion of other examples. I mean, we could be here for hours talking about traditional brick and mortar businesses that could benefit from having an online presence. But yeah, what do you think?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many different businesses that could certainly benefit from having an online presence, and also using the Tools in Thrive suite to build your website. So let's talk about the steps that you would need to take if you are a brick and mortar business. What do you have to do in order to build your website? So I guess, first of all, you need your domain name. It would be best if your domain name is the exact same as your business name. You will need to get web hosting. You'll need to purchase Thrive Suite. And I would definitely recommend using Thrive Theme Builder for your WordPress theme. It is one of the most customizable and flexible, but also easy to use WordPress themes available, because you can choose templates. It comes with how many companion themes? I think 3 or 4 now.
There's 4 companion themes, yeah. 4?
Okay. So you can choose one of the 4 companion themes, and it will guide you, the wizard will guide you through choosing templates for your entire website, but then you can also go back through and customize things exactly how you want them. So I would recommend doing that. And then maybe set up Thrive Leads for an email marketing service. Yeah,
so right. I think Christy just gave you the entire outline of how to set up your online business. Like intrinsically speaking, if we zoom out a little bit, if you're in 2023, if you run a brick and mortar business, and for whatever reason you still don't have an online presence, you still don't have a website, first thing that you need to know how to do or understand how you want to do is pick where you want to build your online infrastructure. Like Christine said, we recommend using WordPress. WordPress powers, I think it's like 43 of the internet today. That's a lot of websites being built using WordPress. And they don't just pick WordPress because WordPress sounds cool. I mean, they pick WordPress because WordPress is optimized to expand your reach. It is a content management solution, and Google is very familiarized with WordPress, with the way WordPress websites are built. And it's very easy to use WordPress to scale an online business. So we recommend using WordPress. That's to begin with. Like Christine said, probably find a domain name that matches your brick and mortar brand. So if you have a bakery shop called Christine's Donuts, then probably find christinedonuts.com or something to that extent. Or Tony's Cakes.com, or something to that extent.
Yeah. And don't forget about all the other things that a brick and mortar business might need. Like you might want to use a map to show exactly where your shop is located. Well, Thrive Architect comes with an element to show a Google map. You might want a contact form so that people can contact you with questions. Thrive Architect has a contact form element that it's really easy to insert on any page of your website.
And what else could a brick and mortar business? I mean, I think that's a pretty strong outline, right? We could technically discuss, if you want, Christine, how, okay, so you have a brick and mortar business and you've made the decision to use WordPress and Thrive Suite to build your online business. How do you start getting some traffic to that website or expanding your reach online using your recently built online infrastructure? I can tell you, for example, my girlfriend is a great example of having a brick and mortar business and using Thrive Suite to try to gather some more people into her fitness center. And the way she did it is she leveraged Instagram as well. I feel like Instagram is a really powerful tool to be using as well alongside your website. And again, let's remind yourself, you want to use your website to showcase what you offer. You want to use your website to maybe charge people. It's a really great way of handling your finances. You want to use your website to be able to showcase operating hours. But she does use Instagram, for example, to send people to her website. So she runs ads and she has really cool videos of her classes, and she has really cool videos of just herself talking about what she does and why people should come to her fitness center. She has a fitness center dedicated mostly for women, just to women. And so a lot of women are on Instagram, and she runs ads, and she seems to be doing really well. So ads is definitely one thing that you can do. And I'm typically, like, if you've watched some of our previous podcast episodes, you probably know by now, I'm not a huge fan of running ads, but in some instances, it makes sense. I mean, if you want to reach more people, you can advertise yourself, right? It's a question of why you're running ads and how are you using advertising and what's the ultimate goal. Like, for example, my girlfriend, she's not doing drop shipping. She's not trying to, try to get the cheapest click that she can possibly find or get, or try to game the Facebook algorithm to try to get the cheapest possible click to try to sell a product and try to make some profit on the margin. Like, that's not what she's doing. And I'm not a huge fan of trying to do that business or anything like that. I'm not really keen on ads in general, but sometimes it does make sense. So that's an easy way of expanding your reach and sending people to your website.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with using Instagram for promoting brick and mortar businesses. User-generated content is really big these days. And it really makes your marketing effort so much easier if you can just rely on other people taking pictures of your products and posting them and then tagging and then, that kind of thing. I think that's really a really awesome strategy. One way that you could incorporate Thrive Architect into your Instagram strategy is, a lot of times people will post links for things and it'll say link in bio, and, you can only really have one link to your website on Instagram. So what you can do is you can actually build a promotional page specifically for Instagram that relates back to your Instagram posts. And we do have a video on how to do that.
I had like you just opened up my eyes to something real quick. I mean, Instagram is literally like the 2023 way of having customers use having customers refer other people to your business, right? I mean, you tag my girlfriend actually does this all the time. We will go out and have a nice dinner and she'll take a picture of the damn dish every time. She does this every time, and she puts it up on her Instagram profile and she tags the location. And I don't know how many people follow my girlfriend, but all of those people that are following her, they'll see the picture of the whatever she's having for dinner. And if they like it, they may ask her, oh, where are you? What are you having? That looks cool. That's a really great way of sending people to your brick and mortar business. So that's an excellent point, Christine.
Excellent. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm not on Instagram all that much. I do have a lot of friends though, where it's like, we cannot go out to eat without everybody taking pictures of their food first. And, it's kind of annoying, but you can't take a bite of your food until someone takes a picture of it.
It is what it is. You gotta accept it and move on.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so last thoughts. Tony, do you have any last thoughts about building a website for brick and mortar business using Thrive tools?
Yeah, so look, it comes down to if you're at a point where you're ready to make the investment in building an online presence, it comes down to using tools that allow you to do things however you want. And that's the beauty of Thrive Suite, in my opinion. Like when people ask me, why should I use Thrive Architect and not something else? Or why should I use Thrive Suite and not something else? Well, it comes down to the flexibility and the power behind our tools. For example, with Thrive Architect, you can literally build whatever you want. You have complete control over the creative design aspect of your website. I'm not lying. I think I have videos online showing people how to build the New York Times using Thrive Architect, or how to build Abercrombie and Fitch using Thrive Architect. I mean, it's that powerful, and you're completely in control of what the end result of your website is going to be, which is something that not every tool out there is able to do, or able to take pride on. I'm actually I'm proud about the fact that you can do whatever you want with Thrive Architect, for example, and Thrive Theme Builder. And on top of that, these things just work. I mean, I keep quoting Steve Jobs when I want to talk about Thrive, because Thrive just works. If you want to incorporate online course functionality into your website, Thrive Apprentice works beautifully well with Thrive Architect and Thrive Theme Builder. If you want to run a quiz, you've got Thrive Quiz Builder. If you want to test things, you can use Thrive Optimize to A/B test lead magnets, or if you want to test landing pages or different copy. I mean, our tools just work. So if you want a no headache solution to building an online business, the thing that I keep telling people is you just use Thrive Suite, because it just works.
All right, well said, Tony.
So what about you, Christine? Any last thoughts?
Well, I would say that the big benefit to using Thrive tools is the conversion boosting features, which you already touched on. But things like being able to A/B test your pages to see which one brings in more conversions. It's a really powerful tool. And also being able to use Thrive Leads, which integrates super well with Thrive Architect. And then being able to do things like conditional display. So maybe if you already have a customer, they can be shown different content to then, as opposed to someone who's never visited your website before. So the tools that come with Thrive Suite are just super powerful. And that's why I think people should look into it.
And when it comes to brick and mortar businesses, I feel like it's even super important to be able to take the mood and the environment and the ambient that your brick and mortar businesses offers online. So for example, if you have a restaurant and it's 80s inspired, and you have, I don't know, is Michael Jackson part of the 80s? If you have a Michael Jackson statue in your restaurant or something, you want to be able to take that mood and that 80s environment online as well. So that people, once they come into your website and they get that vibe that, hey, this is an 80s kind of place, they'll get the same feeling when they walk into your restaurant. And it's important to be able to be in control of those things. And Thrive Suite allows you to do just that. So for a brick and mortar business, it's important. The conversion aspect functions of Thrive Suite are obviously important, and they never hurt, because like we discussed previously, you may want to be able to sell things online eventually. But it's also let's put some emphasis on how important it is to be able to be in control of what your business online is going to look like. And there's no tool out there like Thrive Architect and Thrive Theme Builder that will allow you to do that.
All right, so now it's your turn to start building your business website. Now, if you're new here and you aren't familiar with Thrive Themes, we have an entire collection of tools to help you build your website. Thrive Theme Builder is our WordPress theme. Thrive Architect is our page builder, which is great for landing pages, thank you pages, sales pages, and more. Thrive Leads is our tool for placing email opt-ins on your website, and we have much more. You can buy each tool separately if that is all you need, but you'll get the best value by purchasing Thrive Suite, which includes all of our tools. To learn more, click the link down in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to check out some of our other videos, and we'll see you next time.